Okay, we're here today at Fairview High School. January 28, 2016, Fairview versus Forrest.
This is the first match we have tonight.
It's a beautiful Thursday night.
They're going at it hard.
The match
right
begins.
From the
This
start.
is the smallest weight class, I believe.
They're really going at it. They're really.
I believe Fairview for this match has a little bit more bulk than Forrest does.
It does look that way. There seems to be some struggle. He's trying to go for his legs. And Forrest's player is pinning Fairview's wrestler.
So, Jack, what do you believe the outcome of the total duel tonight? What do you believe the outcome of the total duel tonight to be?
Well, it seems as though Forrest has more players than Fairview tonight. Something I was noticing.
You can, I believe, if I'm correct, I believe that this is a very important game for both Fairview and Forrest tonight. So you can literally see in the audience the tension, and on the benches, both teams are just kind of tense tonight. Do you feel the same thing, Jack?
I agree, and I was noticing that just a second ago, these two wrestlers started with Fairview's player at a disadvantage. Did you notice that, Michael?
Oh, yes, because I believe that they stopped in that position, so they started back at that position. Anyway, like I said before, I believe this is a very big game for both Fairview and Forrest. So I don't think that a loss at this point would be very good for either team.
It seems like Forrest has won this match.
And I believe so, Jack. It seems as if Jesse has lost this match for us. He seems to be struggling quite. He seems to be in pain, Jack, to be honest.
It looks as if Forrest has won this match.
And I believe
like
they did.
Fairview's wrestler was almost out of that hold towards the end, but the ref called it before that could happen.
So
this first match tonight is over, and it's on to the next one.
Okay, Jack. Well, that was a good start. This is the next in line. That was a good start. We came out really aggressive. That was a good start for Fairview. It was a loss, though, but I still think it was... he came out trying, you know?
Yeah, he definitely did. And there was struggle on both ends, but towards the end, Forrest did have a grip on the situation.
You always have those moments where you just... And we start the next match.
So it looks like Forrest's wrestler is going for the legs. Oh,
I've noticed they've been doing that. Fairview so far...
Forrest's wrestler is trying to immobilize Fairview's wrestler. There's some struggle.
He's trying to get him out of the ring, it looks like.
Fairview's wrestler is definitely at a disadvantage. Forrest's player just brought back the same situation that we saw just a moment
he got him by
ago.
the neck. Well, he tried. He is tempted to.
All right, they're both back on their feet.
And Fairview's back up.
Oh, that was
the crowd's happy about that.
All right. So it looks like Fairview's player is going for his head area and also his arms, but Forrest's wrestler is going more towards the legs.
Well, I believe they're both going for the legs at this point, but one's just guarding his legs a little bit more with his hands.
Oh, both players are out of the ring at this point.
Okay, both players out of the ring, but I think Fairview was the first one to be fully out of the ring. Okay, and it's a restart.
I will say, Fairview's wrestler is actually one of the best wrestlers on the team during this particular match. He actually has a scholarship in place.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, for the first match, I believe Fairview has a little bit more bulk on this match. I might be wrong. It looks a little even, but I think Fairview has a bit larger player.
Forrest wrestler is really
sliding
immobilizing
Fairview across the floor.
There's definitely some struggle. Looks as though Forrest might win this match.
Both of them gasping for air, Jack.
Oh, Fairview's wrestler is really, really trying to get out of the situation. We're almost out of time for this match. It looks Fairview has
Jack,
won.
they both look out of breath tonight.
Forrest won that match. Forrest is definitely in the lead so far.
No, they didn't win the match. The match was over, and now we're going to the next round. So, so far, Fairview's made it further than we have before.
All right, our wrestlers are getting back up, getting ready for the next round.
Okay, so we got 2 minutes on the clock. The Fairview player communicating with his coach a minute ago. They have some sort of...
Once again, it looks as though Fairview's wrestler started with a disadvantage during this round.
I believe, like I was saying, the Fairview wrestler was talking to his coach, and I believe the coach told him to choose that disadvantage on the ground to start in that position. So I believe that they chose to start from that position.
Well, they're both back on their feet now, so it's an even playing field at the moment.
A quick jab by the Forrest player.
Fairview's wrestler is...
It's anybody's game now.
Fairview's wrestler's on top at the moment.
They're both mixed up completely.
Oh, they went outside the ring, which means...
Okay, Fairview wrestler.
Once again, both back on their feet. It's even playing field at the moment.
Fairview's
wrestler is on top.
That's good as of now, but that can change really quickly. All it takes is one little jump, and he's on the bottom.
One right move or one wrong move can result
in a win or a loss.
Exactly.
Seems to be a bit of a slow-paced game so far. Nothing huge and exciting happening. We lost the first round, so not a big deal. But
yeah.
Oh, you can hear him cheering now.
Forrest's wrestler is on top. No, Fairview
wrestler is on top. You can hear the crowd cheering for him. He's about to pin him.
Fairview can keep this hold until the time runs out. Fairview will have won this match.
He's almost got him. And he got out of it.
He's grabbing onto his leg. He's trying to keep Forrest's wrestler on the ground.
20 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, back once again. Fairview's wrestler is keeping the tables turned his way. If
Fairview can stay on top. 9 more seconds.
Less than 10 seconds left. It looks as though Fairview has won this match.
No.
Let's see.
He has.
And here we go.
He didn't win the match. They do three matches per 2 players per duel. And after those 3 matches, if one of them hasn't pinned him down completely, then at the end of the 3 matches, they determine a winner. Whoever was the best wrestler.
Fairview gets the advantage this round for winning on top. The last round.
Ooh, and Fairview made a mistake.
Is on top at the moment.
Now, Jack, I've noticed this so far. The Forrest wrestler has done almost zero communication with anyone on the bench or any of the coaches. Almost zero communication between the Forrest player and the coach. But the Fairview coach and the Fairview player both times have made so much communication, whether it be a wink or just a simple nod of the head. There's been some form of communication, and you have to actually be paying attention to notice it.
That must mean that Forrest players must have had a strategy before going in to this match tonight.
The Fairview players, because it was the Fairview that I was talking about. So this is actually really interesting. I've never. You can hear the crowd.
Yeah,
Dr. Oyer, the Fairview principal, over here near Jack and I, cheering her head off. Like I said, this is a very important game tonight, very important duel. And 40 seconds left on the clock. It's anybody's game. Fairview seems to have a bit of an advantage. And now, as you can see, it's getting a little more tense. The Forrest coach and the Forrest player having some communication. And
out of the ring. The crowd is restless tonight.
Both coaches and both players listening to their coaches. A slew of communication going on in just a matter of seconds.
We're in the last round. This should determine who has won this match. Forrest is.
It's anybody's game.
Is on
it's
top.
anybody's game right now. 14 seconds left on the clock. It's anybody's match right now. I think he's almost got him pinned down. 6 seconds, 5 seconds left on the clock, and he's up. 1 second. That's it.
Forrest has won this round, so we are slowly advancing up the weight classes tonight.
Are you sure that Forrest won that? I'm not sure who won that. What? I'm not sure that they won that. They always go to the sides and say hi to the say thank you to the coaches.
Now, Forrest won that match. But as you can see, the players are
the
slowly.
third match with a couple of rather slender fellows.
Players are slowly getting larger and larger as the night goes on.
The last two players, Jack, were rather bulky for their size. You know, both of them had a lot of muscle mass and rather thick legs.
Yeah.
Or a thick torso, but both players for here it seems to be rather evenly distributed. The weight. I'm not sure the weight.
Fairview's on top at the moment.
Fairview with the pin down, and Fairview with the win on this one.
Fairview pinned Forrest's player down.
Forrest player not very happy about that.
Yeah, Forrest's player seems very angry at the moment.
Fairview player extremely happy about this win. Like we said earlier, didn't get to finish my conversation because of the excitement. That round of players seemed to be rather slender, very small, both very tall, which can be an advantage and a disadvantage.
No, these players seem to be both tall and have a good amount of muscle mass.
Yeah, this match seems to be really rather physical compared to the other matches, Jack. A lot of grabbing, a lot of throwing. But I guess if you can do that to another guy, you would.
Yeah, they both went out of the ring, so it looks like, yeah, Forrest's wrestler is getting the advantage.
Forrest with the advantage on this one. Fairview with the disadvantage. The Fairview coaches with a little bit of an argument on this one.
The ref is talking to Fairview's coach at the moment. Not really sure what's going on.
A little bit of a disagreement between the coaches and the ref. Fairview coach does not seem to be happy about this. Not much said, but he does not seem to be a very happy fellow right now to start with the disadvantage.
Oh, they went out of the ring again. This is in the first 30 seconds.
I don't believe that this is going to be a good match for Fairview. The last two were rather good compared to the first one, but this one, Jack, just seems to not be going very well.
Looks like once again the ref
stopping the game.
Yeah.
A little bit of a disagreement between the Fairview players and
Forrest
struggling. Like we said earlier, Jack, it's extremely physical. Fairview got the push out of bounds for this one.
these two wrestlers are very aggressive.
Yeah,
compared
extremely
to the last
aggressive.
ones. And you notice this by the fact that in less than the first 40 seconds of the game, they've been wound up out of the ring.
I think it's what's the word? I think it's a little weird. I'm sure this happens on purpose, but I think it's a little cool, I guess, that the last match was both two very slender, very tall players. The one before that was two almost identical players, and this one seems to be two amazingly aggressive players. So both match, I imagine every match would be almost exactly the same. No real disadvantages or advantages to any match.
And that's one of the great things about how this is structured as well.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good way to put it. There's no real advantages or disadvantages to every match. Every single one seems to be incredibly fair. If one team has a disadvantage or the other has a disadvantage, the other team chooses a player that can counter that disadvantage and use that to their advantage. Use their disadvantage to the team's advantage.
Yeah.
So we got 20 seconds left of this first match for this duel. It seems to be going very well. It could be anybody's game at this point. I've seen a little bit of Forrest and a little bit of Fairview winning. The crowd seems to be really into these games.
The crowd is very active tonight.
Yeah, this one's very active. Really something you can cheer to. And considering how this is a very important game, I would assume.
Are you okay?
All right, we're in the next round of this match.
And the ref seems to be having another altercation for some reason. I can't tell you what it is, Jack, but another reason against Fairview for us to have a disadvantage. Ooh, and he got out of this one. What was I saying before? Oh, you can tell, like I said earlier, this is a very important duel between the schools. Rather high up in the matches,
Yeah,
very
definitely.
important, like I just said. Very important. So I would assume, although that's not the case tonight, I guess, I would assume that both teams would be coming out extremely aggressive. But it seems to be only the case for this match this far.
I'm sure we'll see more aggressive players as this game
as the night
goes
progresses,
down.
and the players get gradually heavier. But I would assume
they're literally going head to head at the moment.
Yeah, Jack. I would assume once we get a little later in the
out of the ring again.
Once we get a little later in the matches, that there won't be as much aggressiveness because the larger guys won't be able to be moving around as quick and as agile as the smaller guys can as right now. So I feel like it'll be a little more like a sumo wrestling match than these little guys are running around.
Yeah.
Again, I would assume that they would be very agile and quick on their feet, but nowhere near as quick on their feet as these players. Fairview headgear coming off, almost choking the Fairview player. It looked like that hurt quite a bit.
Both players are getting very sweaty as well.
Yeah, Jack. There's not much you can do to avoid sweating or mixing sweat with these players. It just seems, I feel like that's normal at this point in their career and playing,
Yeah.
It isn't weird anymore.
6 seconds left. It looks like
Force and stop the clock at 3 seconds left. Both players starting at an advantage. Fairview on the bottom.
It's all right. Come on, finish.
So, the Fairview had the advantage right when the whistle was blown. So Fairview starting with the advantage at the beginning of this match. But Fairview immediately, the Forrest player immediately turned that advantage around on him and got Fairview player on the ground.
Yeah.
That was so quick.
That was extremely fast. Looks like Forrest's wrestler.
Jack, is this the third or the fourth player?
This is the first match tonight between Fairview and Forrest.
Is this the third or the fourth player, I mean? Individual players.
This is the third.
The third?
Yes.
Okay, well, what can you determine from these first three players? What can you determine the outlook of this duel to be?
Well, Fairview has won once and lost once, so it's too early to really tell. Actually, I believe this is the fourth. This is the fourth match. I apologize. Fairview has won two. And
this is the fourth.
One.
You're right. The Fairview players seem to be struggling. Oh, he just got kneed in the face. Did you see that, Jack?
Yeah, I did.
That cannot be.
I would imagine there's a relatively large amount of injuries while wrestling as well. You know, something gets pulled the wrong way. While
something
being pinned.
gets grabbed. You might not want to get grabbed.
Yeah.
This seems like there could be a whole slew of injuries that could occur anytime during these matches. And it looks as if Fairview won this specific match. Forrest starting at the disadvantage. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They both start out evenly.
I think one reason the crowd is so active tonight is that both Fairview and Forrest's audience are on one side of the gym tonight. And that could create some animosity between the audience.
5 seconds left on the clock, Jack.
If he can keep this hold, Fairview will have won this match.
And I believe that win goes to Fairview.
So at this point, Fairview has won 3 matches, and Forrest has
Forrest won that match, Jack.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, he held up his hand. Forrest won that match. Sad to say. Okay, and Fairview starting out again tonight.
Once again, we have a very slender person on
now, Jack,
Forrest's
notice
side.
this. Just like you said, Forrest with an extremely tall. He looks actually fairly bulky. He's very tall though. At least half a foot taller
very
than the player.
right from the get-go.
I can tell you, Christian is the Fairview player's name tonight. Fairview, I'm sure because he's smaller and I would assume a little bit bulkier, got a stronger torso, that he's probably the stronger player in this match. But Forrest having the taller player, that can be an advantage, but also a disadvantage. Christian tonight coming out extremely fast. He was so quick with that slam. It seems as if Fairview with the advantage.
These are two very aggressive players, reminiscent of the third match we had earlier. Oh, wow, look at that. Very aggressive
And Jack, I have to say, this match is a little bit different from the matches we've been watching earlier. It seems that the Fairview player wants to almost not exactly pin him on the ground, but get him in a position where he has to give up, where he has to tag out. Because as you saw a minute ago, he grabbed his knee and threw it up into his chest. That does not seem like something I would want to happen during a match. And so the Fairview guy, like I said, I think Fairview got poked in the eye. That's not a good feeling. That can really mess you up. It doesn't hurt that much, but it can really mess you up. Only having one eye in a match like this, Fairview just swinging extremely aggressively grabbing for the head.
I think this is the most aggressive match we've seen yet.
It's. I gotta tell you, it's the most interesting match that we've seen tonight. I want to watch this. Oh, Fairview lost a leg. Fairview losing his leg. Fairview on the bottom. That doesn't mean anything, though. Christian came out tonight very aggressive. But Christian, I believe, to be the smarter player because he's using every strategic advantage he can.
And I feel like we've seen holds and moves in this match that we haven't seen in other matches as well.
Yes, exactly. I feel like Christian's really taking his time a little bit more, thinking about it. He's not really just going with the gut instinct and grabbing for the legs and trying to throw them like you would see in a normal wrestling match. I feel like he's really thinking about his moves before that even occurs. And again, the Fairview player rubbing his eye. His eye has got to be hurting.
Fairview's coach is definitely getting into the game tonight.
Now that you mentioned the Fairview coach being rather aggressive with his coaching style, I honestly don't see the Forrest coach anywhere to be found. The head coach, he was off to there he is. He was off to the side talking to one of the players that are about to go out, but he doesn't seem to have a very aggressive coaching style. I think that he lets his players play for themselves.
So it seems as though Fairview is losing this match.
And Fairview had the pin down on that and was about to win it, but the bell rang, and you could see the emotion in the Fairview player's eyes. You could see that he was very distraught about this game, or about that match in specific. So Fairview with the disadvantage, but again, Christian uses that to his advantage. He thinks out what he's going to do, moves before that even happens.
Oh, it looks
I think
as though
Fairview has him pinned down.
Strong hold. Oh,
I don't know, Jack. I think this is going very well for Fairview. Yes, and Christian gets the win for us.
So Forrest's player tapped out of that hold.
Very happy about this.
So I suppose that there are some holds that you just cannot break out of, and the only thing to do is just tap out and you know, give up.
And although I believe the Forrest player lost, I believe that he was rather happy with the outcome. I think he played very well, and I think they both did very well.
So we're definitely seeing larger and larger players as the game goes on. And almost outside of the ring, both teams are struggling to maintain control at the moment. No one has been on the ground yet.
It seems that both players are very bulky, and I know the Fairview player, I think, is a little bit shorter.
Oh, Fairview's player here is Mario tonight, and Mario,
wow, almost pinning him down instantly. Like I was saying, Jack, I think the Forrest player is a little bit taller, and maybe a little bit bulkier, but I believe the Fairview player has a little bit more muscle mass.
I agree.
And like the last match by Christian, who won it for us. Congratulations to him, I think. Mario, did you say?
Yeah.
Mario is playing very smart. It looks like he's not doing anything dumb. He's not backing away. I think right now it's kind of just a standoff, to be honest.
Oh,
not much interesting happening. And the Fairview coach not very happy about Mario's decision for that one.
There have been several instances where they've almost been out of the ring, but they kept it inside the ring for the whole 2-minute round.
And that match is over. I think we're going to start out even. No, Forrest is going to be at the disadvantage for that one. And Fairview starting with the advantage on this one. And Forrest almost getting out of it instantly. It looks so. Jack, I think that Mario is trying to pick up the Forrest player, but I don't know if he has the mass to do it.
And because they are seemingly equal players in terms of weight, I'm sure it would be very hard to pick up
a player of your own, an opponent of your own weight.
Yeah, definitely. Once again, Fairview with the advantage.
And you can hear the crowd cheering for Mario. Not really chanting, but cheering his name every once in a while. So Mario seems to be rather favorite of the crowd. But he does not seem to be showing that in the ring as of now. There's really not that much interesting going on right now.
I agree. There hasn't really been that many pins at all during this match. It
mostly seems head-to-head.
Yeah, I agree. This match seems more relaxed than the others we've seen tonight.
Neither player's very aggressive, which is kind of disappointing. You want to see them going at each other's throats,
Yeah.
That's what brings people in. And it's matches like these. And Mario is bleeding out of his nose right now. Had to come over off to the side and talk to the paramedic on site. Hopefully he's okay. I think he's all right. I think he'll stop bleeding within a couple seconds.
It doesn't appear to be anything major. Just
no
something small that interrupts
bleeding,
the game for
maybe
for
just
a few seconds.
Couple drops or so, but you can't allow that on the mat. Mario going back out. It looks like he's eager for some more. But again, like we said, I think it's just going to be another head-to-head. Not much happening.
Mario seems more aggressive now.
But the Forrest player, I think the Forrest player is more aggressive, and therefore Mario has to kind of counteract that. But I think the Forrest player is the one with all the aggressiveness.
Oh, wow.
Mario did pick him up. He proved us wrong, didn't he?
He sure did. This match is really taking a turn, it seems like.
I noticed Mario bleeding on the other player. Mario got blood on the other player. That's not good at all. And you can see the blood dripping down his chin. That's not good at all. That might have to call the match. That's not very healthy, I don't think. I don't think it's a good thing to have someone else's blood on you.
Yeah.
Or anywhere around an orifice.
Well, I'm sure during the match,
I noticed it just before the ref did. I could see Mario digging his nose into the Forrest player's shoulder. I don't know if he was doing it on purpose to conceal the nosebleed, or he was just getting in there, and then when he hit his nose on his shoulder, it started bleeding. But right before and they're out there right now cleaning up the blood from Mario's nose. Right before the ref noticed it, I noticed it. And they have a bandage, a tissue up Mario's nose to prevent him from bleeding further. But right before the ref noticed it, I noticed it, and it was dripping all over the other player's shoulder, which, I wouldn't really want another guy bleeding all over me.
Yeah.
So I can see why they stopped that. And but it does suck because Mario was at the advantage there. Mario almost had him pinned until they called it for the blood. And like earlier, this doesn't seem to be a very aggressive match.
It's been fairly relaxed.
It doesn't seem as if they're really thinking it out either. It seems to me like they're just kind of taking it.
Well, looks like Mario's going for the
Mario
pin towards
almost
the end
with
of
the
this
pin.
Match.
Mario, pick him up. Mario almost picked him up and pinned him. So 10 seconds left in this match. I think that the Forrest player is getting a little tired of messing around like this. I think they're both getting really tired in general.
Because Fairview ended with the advantage towards the end of that match, it looks like that's how it's going to start at the beginning of this match. So, I was wrong. It is in fact Forrest who gets the advantage starting at the beginning of this match. Looks like Mario is doing fine. I'm not exactly sure what caused his nose to start bleeding in the first place. The ref's calling
another
something.
altercation with the ref. Another altercation with the ref and the Fairview player. Mario immediately in the disadvantage. The Forrest player was too quick with his advantage for Mario to even get a chance to go out. Oh no, Mario's turned the tables on him. Mario's in the behind. Neither player giving up.
We haven't really seen many pins at all during this match. It's really remained relatively on foot. Once again, not a very aggressive match, but both players seem to be giving just about equal effort into their wrestling tonight. Once again, head-to-head, it's not really clear what each other's players' strategies are at the moment. It looks like the ref, because it went out of the ring, the ref called it.
Jack, I honestly don't believe that either player really has a strategy at this point.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely unclear of what the players are thinking at this moment, or how they believe they're going to achieve victory tonight.
Sorry to interrupt you, but 40 seconds left on the clock. Let's see if Mario can turn this around in less than 40 seconds. I'm sorry. And I'm looking at Mario's bandage up his nose, the tissue, and it seems to have a bit of blood. So I think there might be I think he might be bleeding profusely. But it's all in that tissue. There's no blood getting anywhere. If he did, I'm sure that the ref would call and make him get it cleaned up again.
Well, after this match, I'm sure he'll get the proper treatment that he needs.
I believe this is the last match between these two opponents.
I agree.
I think this is the third of 3. Okay, 11 seconds. Both
left.
Teams getting a little more aggressive with their shouting. Both coaches getting a little more aggressive with their coaching. 4 seconds left. I don't think...
Oh, no.
No, I think that's it. I'm not sure, though. No, they're starting back in the center. Mario won that match for us for Fairview.
Forrest ended up on top at the end of that last match. So I'm not really sure how the ref decided that Mario was the winner of that match.
Okay, we start the 5th match, is it, Jack?
Yeah, that's correct. And on Fairview's team, we have Logan White against Forrest's wrestler tonight.
Okay, I noticed Logan to be seeming kind of small and rather scrawny, maybe a little bit muscle mass right at the top of his torso, up in the pecs and the upper arms. But honestly, I think he's a rather small opponent compared to the other guy.
Well, we have to remember that these classes are based on weight and not how tall each player is. So really, it's more about bulk and mass in these matches.
I think the other player has a little bit more muscle mass, so a little bit stronger. He definitely has thicker legs, so a good sturdy base. Almost twice the size legs of Logan. Did you say?
Yeah, that's correct.
Almost twice the size legs of Logan. So definitely a very strong base and good center. Logan's abdomen and stomach area seems to be lacking in the muscle. But so I'd say Logan is a little bit smaller than this guy. Not completely at a disadvantage, but not completely at an advantage either.
I agree.
So this means that Logan's going to have to think smart for this one. So hopefully Logan's a good thinker and a quick thinker. And hopefully he can pin him down before the Forrest player can.
Well, you know, we have to realize
Logan almost on his back.
That at the beginning of each match, you know,
Logan almost down.
Each player's not really sure what to expect from his opponent. So really, as the match is going on, they have to decide what the best way to take down their opponent is.
Jack, is this the 5th or the 6th match?
I believe this is the 6th match tonight.
Okay. We have 6 matches tonight, like Jack just said. 23 seconds left on the clock. Logan White, did you say?
Yes, that's correct.
Logan White is the Fairview player. The Fairview coach is finally speaking up and getting some good coaching advice for Logan.
Oh, it looks like Forrest has got the pin.
So I think that the Fairview coaches definitely see the fact that Logan is the smaller opponent, and they're really having to help him out coaching-wise. Logan looks as if he is worn out. Logan is trying his hardest, and the Forrest player, I don't know if he's having to try as hard.
So
Logan starting at the disadvantage at the beginning of the match. So hopefully it's not too big of a disadvantage. I think Logan can get out of this one if he just thinks smart and listen to his coaches. So Jack, how do you think the matches have gone so far for Fairview?
I think it's about equal on both sides of the number of wins tonight. I think Fairview's in the lead tonight for the amount of matches won, but very close to being equal. I think both teams are about the same level, honestly.
Yeah, Jack, and you can assume that a little further up in the ranks when it comes to matches. Once you get up there and they start disqualifying teams, once teams start getting knocked out of the ranks, you can expect the teams to start evening out, You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
And Logan seems to have a great advantage. A minute ago, he was in an awful headlock. It looked extremely painful. He was in a headlock, and I didn't think he was going to get out of it. But now Logan's on top and about to hopefully pin this player.
I must say,
we got 40 seconds left.
There are 2 matches tonight. One with Fairview versus Forrest, and another with Page versus another team. And the winners of each one will play off against the other. Now, both teams, I'm sure, will be worn out, during that time. So
Logan right now getting the other team's player in a headlock. Other team's player almost choked. He looked like he was about to pass out.
His face was very red.
Very red. He seemed to be in extreme pain.
If Logan can keep this hold, he'll win this round.
You can see the coaches. You can see the coaches for Forrest having extreme concern for this one.
Forrest's player has taken off his headgear.
I believe when he was in the chokehold, that his headgear was coming back on him and choking him even more, which couldn't have been a very happy experience. I wouldn't want that happening to me. Logan, hopefully playing smart, and as he's grabbing and pulling and twisting with the other player. You can really see his muscle mass up in his upper arms and his upper back is where most of his mass
agree.
is.
That's
the Fairview
definitely
coach. Go ahead, Jack.
I believe that's definitely Logan's strongest point tonight. Forrest's player definitely has larger mass on his legs and seems much stronger in that area.
The Fairview coach tonight seemed to be very excited about this match. I think he thinks that Logan could win it. Not that he can. I just believe that the Fairview coach is extremely confident in Logan and winning this one. The upper weight classes are for Fairview are getting ready to go out and show some intimidation. Hopefully they can get us some more wins. Oh, Logan in a bad position now on his stomach. If the Forrest player gets him turned over, then Logan's pinned down. This is not a good position for him so far.
Yeah. Less than a minute on the clock. So one of two things needs to happen. Logan needs to get out of the hole, or he'll need to tap out. At this point, it looks like Forrest has this mostly under control. No, Logan's getting up. Logan
getting up,
struggling
and
to
if he
get
can
out
switch this on him, Logan can easily get him on a pin down.
About 20 seconds left in this round. It looks like Forrest
not
may
looking
have
good
won.
for Fairview right now, Jack. I honestly think Forrest is going to win this one. Like I said, the Fairview coach is going at it, cheering and chanting and shouting things that the Fairview players should be doing. And that's the end of this match. And another round, Forrest wins that one. Yeah, Jack, I figured that the Forrest player would win that one.
I think it's great that they have the players during the end of every match greet the other team's coaches.
Yeah, Jack, I agree. Shows a level of sportsmanship that really, I mean, for any sport, it should just be kind of commonplace, you know? It should
agree.
just happen automatically. It shouldn't be well known that people do it. It should just, the players should want to do that, to show respect.
I agree.
Like I said, sportsmanship, and that's all it's about. It's respect and showing that they were a worthy opponent. Whether they were or weren't, so it's still good to show respect.
Fairview's player Trace Elliott during this match tonight. So far, it looks like Forrest has had the upper hand against Trace.
Yeah. It doesn't look as if Trace has much. He's a rather large boy, you know, but it doesn't look as if he has much muscle mass. Only stuff I've seen moving on him is the stuff that jiggles, Jack. There's not much movement in his on his side.
I have
There's
to
not
say,
much happening.
Forrest has really dominated during this entire match. I don't think.
I think there's about to be a pin down for Forrest. If Forrest can keep this, he's gonna get it.
It looks that way.
It's almost there. It's almost there. And
we're nearing the end of the first round. It's unclear what the turnout will be.
That's about to be a pin down. And that's a pin down, Jack. So, Fairview lost that one. That was an automatic loss for him.
Yeah, you know, I really think that Trace suffered because of his lack of muscle compared to the other player. I think that was
he was
his
a little bit
downfall.
shorter. You can see he has muscle in his pecs and his chest and that, and but really there wasn't much to that. Joshua Ortiz starting out this match. Joshua, I I have personally never seen Joshua wrestle, but I have heard great things about Joshua Ortiz. As you can see, he's a very stout man, and that's exactly how I would describe him, as a young man. Most of these players out here are boys moving up, but exactly as I was describing him, I would describe him as a young man. Joshua hurting his arm, it looks like, wincing in pain. You can see in his legs that he has a very stout foundation. When he leans forward, his legs just flex with muscle. His upper body arms seem to be very well exercised. Got a lot of muscle mass up there. He's got a huge chest. I think that Joshua has the advantage on the Forrest player tonight.
I agree, definitely.
And you saw, as soon as they came out the gate, 10 seconds in, Joshua picked him up and threw him over and almost pinned him down. It's kind of slowed down.
Joshua definitely has more muscle as well.
Not that the other player doesn't have a good amount of muscle, but I think Joshua has the advantage. Got a big, stout, sturdy foundation, and that's I think a sturdy foundation is the best way to have this. I'd rather have a sturdy foundation than a really tall, muscled player up top. What do you think, Jack?
I agree. I definitely think Joshua has most likely already on the path to winning this match. Forrest wrestler went for the pin just a moment ago, but was not successful.
3 seconds left, and that'll be the end of this match. I think it's a little even. It didn't seem blatantly obvious who won that one. Joshua choosing the disadvantage for this one. I think Joshua is doing this. I think Joshua chose the disadvantage because he knows that he has a very sturdy foundation and can just about get out of anything with his legs. Look at him. Not even being affected.
He's already out.
He's already out. He was pinned down and got out immediately. And Joshua, like he said, he's already out, and now he's on top, grabbing the Forrest player by his arms.
It looks like Forrest may...
Joshua putting his full weight onto the Forrest player's chest. Jack, I have to say, this is a pretty exhilarating sport.
I agree. If Joshua can just get the Forrest player in the right position, he may have this match.
Joshua almost with the pin down. Joshua with the win. And did you see that extreme show of sportsmanship? After Joshua pinned him down, he picked him right back up. And I think this was an obvious win to Joshua. The Forrest player doesn't seem to be enjoying that one that much.
Players are definitely getting bigger and bigger as the night has gone on. If you recall the first match tonight, things have definitely escalated since then. Looks like both players are going for the upper body in terms of trying to get the other player into a hold.
The Fairview player has very stout legs, but again, not a strong foundation like Joshua has. He does have, you can see it in his legs, he does have very strong legs, but he doesn't have anywhere near as strong legs as Joshua does over here.
He seems to have very strong abs and also very strong biceps.
A good torso and a good abdomen. That's any strong place is a good advantage.
If Fairview's wrestler can pin or can just flip him over, he'll have the pin.
Run your spiral. Run it. Stay with it. Get your half in. Give me my half.
Okay, we got 58 seconds left. We got 50, 48. No. Got 40 seconds left. Not much happening. Almost turned over at this point.
Oh, you can see Forrest player is really struggling not to get placed on his back.
And that's
he
a win
gets
for
the pin.
Fairview. And you can hear how excited that these players and people are supporting them. You can hear that they're extremely happy. All the players on each side cheering them on, but I think Fairview's a little bit happier about this. Now I think, Jack, that was the quickest match. Now this match starting out fairly evenly.
So 7 seconds in, and the ref was already called.
So I'm not sure, Jack, but I think Fairview has the most amount of wins between the two teams right now.
Yeah,
which is
I don't
good.
think that's disputable. I think Fairview definitely has the most wins tonight.
Oh yes,
Especially these last two.
Well, we'll see in a minute when we get the number of wins. Right now, both teams seem rather aggressive, but I think Fairview's playing this a little bit smarter, not really doing anything. The Forrest player seems to be rather tall. I think they both have about the same muscle mass and body weight, but I think the Forrest player has a bit taller advantage than the Fairview player does, which that could be, like I said, an advantage or a disadvantage. That is determined by how he plays. So, Jack, this seems pretty. It doesn't seem one-sided at all. I think this match seems pretty fair.
Yeah, I agree. It's mostly been very even.
Oh
It
no!
looks like Forrest
Not looking fair right now. Forrest player.
Forrest player was trying to go for the pin, but went too far out of the ring.
Now, like I said, it does seem pretty evenly matched, like a very even match, but the Forrest player had the advantage on that one just now, a minute ago. Slapping each other silly out there, aren't they? Ooh, and a quick spin around move by the Forrest player. I think he's just a little bit smarter playing this game than the Fairview player is.
It looks like Forrest might
almost a pin. That's the end of the first match, I believe. Is it the first or the second?
The first
match?
round.
First match. So, Fairview,
wow. Fairview's player definitely has a nosebleed.
I'll take it. Fairview has a nosebleed. It seems to be rather profuse, I think.
It seems much more noticeable than Mario's nosebleed a couple matches back.
Yeah, actually, I noticed, Jack, that before he even came out, he had tissues up his nose. Maybe he was either bleeding before or very well known for his nosebleeds. So we're starting the match again. This is the second match, I believe. Hopefully that tissue doesn't give up anytime soon. Like I said earlier, and Fairview's starting at the disadvantage. Like I said earlier, the Fairview player had his tissues in his nose before he even came out. So maybe he's known for having nosebleeds, or he was bleeding before, but I can't imagine him bleeding before, considering how he hadn't done anything previous to that. And although, Jack, I said I hope it doesn't give out, but it seems as if that tissue that they had just stuck up his nose is already giving out. I think that they might have to quit this match because he is bleeding.
Might have to forfeit.
He is bleeding buckets out his nose.
So the exact amount of wins is unknown, but Fairview is in the lead by several points.
So, Jack, did you get this from an official?
I did.
Okay, good. So the exact amount of wins is unknown, maybe not by the refs right now, but by the officials that are keeping score. So we can't tell you that as of now. Like I said earlier, his nose is just pouring buckets, and they're trying anything they can do to stop it. And this gives the Forrest player an advantage, strategic advantage, going and talking to his coach. But it doesn't seem as if they've chosen that path. It seemed to be going rather well. He's keeping limber. He's got blood all over his hand, taking his time.
This has been a rather large interruption. Oh, it looks like we're back now.
Yeah. And he came running right out, choosing the disadvantage. So let's see how this starts off. I think what the problem is, he starts bleeding out his nose, and then the exhilaration, the rush, the amount of blood just being pumped through his entire body, his blood pressure rising, his heart beating faster. I think that has that has caused the profuse bleeding.
Oh, it looks like Forrest might have the pin in just a moment.
Yep, I think Forrest has won this match, Jack. Don't let me speak too soon. The Fairview player trying his hardest to get up, Jack.
Oh, the match was won by Forrest.
Oh my goodness, Jack. He's coughing up blood. He was choked out. There is blood everywhere. Jack,
oh my.
It seems as if we have a really good shot of this from the camera.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, obviously, there's a lot of blood, like a lot of blood, and Fairview's coach, the paramedics are gathered around Fairview's player, and so this is definitely the most serious thing that's happened tonight.
Okay, so like I was saying, Jack, I think the problem is that they get out there. He had maybe a tiny nosebleed. You can see that they were expecting it because he had tissue in his nose before he even came out there. They're having to clean everything up. There was gallons of blood out there, and that's not something that you can just have lying around on a mat,
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was saying, the problem was that he had a bit of a nosebleed, nothing major, maybe more than Mario had earlier at first, but as he was getting further and further into it, his blood pressure rising. Yeah, it escalated so quickly. His blood pressure was rising. His heart was beating faster. It was just a rush. And that started causing, the blood to come out more,
Yeah, exactly.
And this has become a whole ordeal. They're having to clean up blood everywhere. Even Dr. Orier, our principal, having to go out there and clean up some blood from her own players. It's just not healthy to have that out there, Jack. As you can see, Dr. Orier out there definitely cleaning it up. Showing school spirit. She's not just here to tell us what to do. She definitely cares about this school. And I'd like to give a little shout out to her because, you can tell that she cares. She's been to most of the games that I've been to.
So this match was not won by Forrest. It was called due to the ref realizing
the amount of blood coming from Fairview's nose. And honestly, Jack, I expect a lot more in the next couple seconds. Fairview running around. I expect another nosebleed, whether they have to stop again for it, but I expect another nosebleed
You can see the
before
ref,
the end of these 3 matches.
You can see the ref cautiously checking Fairview's player's face just to make sure.
Yeah. And another problem was a minute ago why they had to call time. I think the main reason why he called time was because he was being choked. He was almost choked out. He almost passed out there. You could see as soon as the ref called it, the Fairview player was grabbing his throat, gasping for air. But then I think after the ref called it, he saw the amount of blood, and then the wait was continued on because of the amount of blood.
Yeah.
And a very swift move by the Forrest player. I can't argue with how swift that was. That was very quick and agile. And you can see the Fairview player's nose. It looks as if there's a little bit of blood out there, but not a massive amount. And the Fairview coach and the ref having a bit of a talk with the official, scorekeeping official. I'm not sure what that's about, but hopefully we'll know rather soon. So
the game is being called at the moment. It looks like the official has gone up as well. Just talking to the ref, the coach, the refs, the players, and
okay. So as we were, and there's.
Looks like there's more blood.
There's more blood, Josh. I'm sorry, Josh. You're not Josh. Josh is the one that won us that match earlier. Jack. There's more blood, but it's coming out of his other nostril, so they don't have that one plugged up. This is going to take a long time with this player. They're having to plug up both nostrils. That can't be comfortable. Having to breathe
Definitely
out of your mouth the whole time.
Yeah, definitely.
Huffing and puffing and double nose plugs. That can't be fun at all. Okay, and you can tell that the Fairview player isn't happy about how much he's bleeding, but, you know, there's nothing you can do about that. So hopefully the amount of blood that he's producing right now doesn't affect whether it's a forfeit or something, if you know what I mean. Hopefully that doesn't affect it.
Do we know what caused the blood in the first place?
No, I don't, but I can tell you that they were either expecting it or it was happening before he even came out here. Like I told you already, he had tissues up his nose before he even had even entered the match. So I don't know. He was either bleeding before or they were expecting it because he bleeds a lot.
Yeah.
And some people do bleed a lot. Some people just bleed for no reason. But anyway, as we were saying earlier, the Fairview coaches were the main ones communicating with their players. Like I said, there was communication every couple seconds between the players, you know. But between the Forrest and the Forrest coaches and the Forrest players, there wasn't much communication going on between the players and the coaches. So it seems if the Forrest coach was kind of laying back and letting his players do what they were trained. But during this time where the nosebleed was going on, there was a lot of communication between the Forrest player, the redhead right here, being pinned down, and the Forrest coach. There was a lot of communication between the Forrest player and the Forrest coach. So they're definitely talking strategy and everything else.
This match is almost
Jack,
over.
you can see more blood on his face. It wore right through that nosebleed, or I'm sorry, that.
He looks like as if he's in some pain as well.
I'm sorry.
It looks like as if he's in some pain as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he's in some. Again, they're cleaning up the mat for the blood. Fairview and it looks as though Forrest have both pulled out a really large crowd tonight. And you can see behind us, this isn't relevant to the match, but you can see behind us Paige getting ready. The Paige wrestlers getting ready to start wrestling. So that's just a little bit of insight on what's going on in the gym. The Forrest the Forrest side on that side of the gym and the Fairview side on this side. The student section tonight is very large, as well as the parents and whatnot. It seems there's a rather big turnout for this big match tonight, Jack.
Definitely.
Okay, Fairview starting with the advantage. Let's see how this goes. Hopefully he doesn't bleed all over him. That sounded like a joke, but it wasn't. Hopefully he doesn't bleed all over him, you know?
Yeah.
You can see in his, I believe it's his left nostril. In his left nostril, he's bleeding out the most, which is the second nostril that started bleeding. So hopefully he keeps that blood up in there, but I don't think he can. I already told you. I called it earlier. 45 seconds left, just to give you a little insight. I called it earlier. There was going to be at least another bloodbath coming from him, and I was right about that. But we'll have to see if there will be another stop time. 20 seconds left, and
this is the
again,
third
Jack, there
round.
hasn't been that much wrestling going on during these three matches. It's mostly just been some altercation at the
going
head,
straight
and maybe
for his
the
legs.
Forrest player pinning him down. Go ahead, Jack. What were you saying?
Just a moment ago, a Forrest wrestler went straight for Fairview's legs.
Is this the first match? Oh no, that was the last one. I'm sorry, I was way off. The Forrest player won that one.
Up next, we have Fairview's Jackson Clevenger.
What grade is he in, Jack?
He is I believe he's a sophomore, but he may be a freshman. Wait, no, I'm sorry. He's a freshman.
He's a freshman?
Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming you have classes with him?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Anyway, you can assume because they're in the same weight class that these players have the same weight, or around the same weight. But really, it doesn't really seem like they have the same weight. I think that the Forrest player definitely has a good 30 to 50 pounds on Jackson out here.
Oh, they went directly outside of the ring. No, they both seem very aggressive, but I agree with Michael, and that Forrest player definitely seems like he has the advantage, not only in bulk, but in muscle as well.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
And like
Forrest
I said,
going straight for the pin.
I'm sorry.
Forrest is going straight for the pin, it looks like.
Like I said, the Forrest player has at least 30 pounds on him. And you could see he picked him up. Not that Jackson's a small guy. Jackson is obviously a very large boy. Definitely has some weight on him. But the Forrest player picked him up and slammed him. So you can see that the Forrest player definitely has some more muscle mass than Jackson does tonight.
All it takes is Forrest.
46 seconds, just to let you know.
All it takes is Forrest flipping Jackson over, and he'll have the pin. Fairview's coach is definitely...
Jack, it always is that easy, but it's really not that easy, Not that I would know personally, but I can assume having a man that large on me, it would not be very easy to just turn him over. Although it is that easy to do something, it's really not that easy to actually, attempt it and do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Jack, so Fairview with the disadvantage on this one.
Fairview's coaches are definitely communicating heavily to Jackson, especially when he was in the midst of almost being pinned.
I have to say, honestly, Jack, I think that the Fairview coach, he has been coaching him more than the Forrest coach has been. But I have to say that the Fairview coach hasn't said as much compared to to Jackson as he has compared to other players. So I feel as if Jackson's mainly doing this on his own compared to the other players. And that can tell you exactly what the coach thinks about Jackson, whether he's sure that he can win it or not so sure that he can win it. And
oh, wow, look at that.
Jackson, if he had to turn that around, Jackson getting him in the headlock. Jackson definitely has him in the headlock. 10 seconds left. Oh,
no, Jackson.
It would be a shame to lose this in the last 5 seconds. Jack, 2 seconds. Okay, and I think Fairview is safe on this one. That was not a pin down.
Yeah. Jackson was able to get on his stomach towards the end there.
Okay.
Jackson at the disadvantage this round.
You can see, as I was saying, the Forrest player definitely has some muscle mass on Jackson, but when it comes to upper body mass, I think Jackson has slightly more body mass up at the top. But overall, the Fairview or the Forrest player definitely has a good 30 pounds on him.
Yeah, definitely. It's very evident to see, very clear. This Forrest player, these last 2 rounds, he has really been attempting non-stop to try and pin Jackson.
Got a minute 25 in this.
Got Jackson in a headlock.
This left. And as we get further into the matches, Jack, you can really hear that the Forrest player, or the Forrest coaches are definitely coaching their players more than they were right at the beginning. So, Jack, I think we're about to start again at 1 minute and 18 seconds left. Fairview with another disadvantage, but that doesn't really mean that much. Hopefully Jackson can get out of this. It seems as though, not anymore, but it seemed as though if Jackson was in quite a lot of pain, considering how his head is being pulled down, and this does not look like a very comfortable game, wrestling.
It looks like Forrest might have this match won if he can get Jackson over.
I think
Jackson's definitely struggling, and he does not want that to happen.
I think that Jackson, I think they're very evenly distributed. Jackson's just been, Jackson's just been put at a disadvantage every time. 30 seconds left. Jackson's been put at a disadvantage every time. So, there's not much he can do to get out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
13 seconds. Jackson with the tap out. Jackson with the tap out. Jackson with the pin down. Forrest won that one. Okay, Jackson not happy about this one. He's leaving.
Yeah, we're definitely getting higher up in the weight classes.
And we are definitely getting up in the weight classes. Got some not very strong guys, but from some very large guys. Forrest definitely with the larger man. Forrest definitely with the larger man. Dr. Orier over here definitely showing her appreciation for the sport and how much she loves this school.
Well, it's surprising how aggressive both these players are.
And did you say you agreed that these players are definitely not as strong, doesn't appear as strong as the younger player or the smaller players, but
yeah.
they're mainly big and not have as much muscle mass.
That's definitely true.
And I think you would agree with me that Forrest has a larger player. Would you agree or no?
That's definitely clear to see. Both in
And the
height
whole
and
crowd going crazy at this point.
Oh, it looks
because
like Fairview's going to get the pin.
almost with the pin down.
Looks like Fairview has won.
Fairview.
Oh, no, they went outside the ring.
I can't tell if he was out or Fairview got the pin down. No, he was out. Everybody very confident in this Fairview player that he can take him down. 49 seconds left in this match, Jack. And although Forrest has the larger player, I believe that Fairview could pick him up entirely and body slam him.
Oh my. Wow, Fairview's wrestler is very aggressive. He is not pulling any punches.
He is definitely stronger than he looks, isn't he?
Definitely.
Doesn't have as much muscle mass, but he sure is strong. He doesn't look as strong as he is. He's obviously a large boy, but he looks stronger than he is. Or he is stronger than he looks.
Fairview's trying to bring everything back into the ring here.
Yeah, we can't afford to let him out of the ring again. Although, I mean, that is good, but it's better to have a pin down than to let him out of the ring.
Yeah. This is the final round between these two wrestlers.
Are you sure? I thought it was the end of the first, and this is the second. Or is it the third?
I'm fairly sure it's the third.
Okay, it's the third.
I could be wrong, but I'm fairly sure.
Okay, we'll see in a minute. Fairview with the disadvantage for some reason. I don't understand why. Our players been playing, I have to say, better. And I believe that disadvantage has definitely hurt our Fairview player.
The coaches are definitely trying.
Both coaches
are trying to offer as much support as possible, trying to get both of these players to do the best of their ability.
And again, Dr. Oyer going crazy for Fairview. Forrest, I believe, is going to be at the disadvantage, and I believe that this is the strategic time that Fairview is at the disadvantage. I was going to say, if Forrest is at the disadvantage, then I'm positive that the Fairview player could get him down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's done it twice now.
He can get up, but he is rather slow at getting up.
Yeah. I mean, they're both very, very large wrestlers.
Fairview player is not going down at all. He is determined. Incredible stamina, incredible way of just handling himself. What do you have to say about that matter?
Well, I mean, it definitely looks like it's most likely Fairview's win. It's just a matter of Fairview getting into a situation where that hold is possible.
The crowd going crazy. We almost can't hear each other. Both sides insane right now. I have to say both players look extremely tired, but I think the Forrest player has a little bit more energy in him than the Fairview player does. And again, Fairview at the disadvantage for this one, getting down, and that has not been good so far. So hopefully this time he can turn it around, although I don't know if he can, because he hasn't been able to so far. If he was at an advantage, he would definitely be able to turn it around. Fairview's player, his arm just looks as if it's not going to turn that way, and that does not look pleasant at all. 3 seconds left, and we're out of this match. We'll see who won this one.
It looks like
Fairview getting back up.
So it looks like this is, in fact, the final round.
Okay, Forrest chose, Fairview chose to be down. The ref talking with the Fairview player, seeing if he's all right. Forrest has, you can see it on his face, he has a lot more energy.
I believe this is the final match as well.
The same position that they've been in the last 5 minutes.
The crowd is just going
Not much
insane.
has changed. The crowd just getting louder and louder. I can barely hear myself talk.
Yeah, the same.
Okay, Jack. 1 minute and 30 seconds left of this 2-minute match. Fairview almost on the brink of tapping out.
Oh.
Forrest won that one.
It looks like Forrest.
That is not good for
won
Fairview on this
the last
win.
round
I'm sorry, on
tonight.
this loss.
Via pin.
I'm sorry.
And this is the last round tonight. Both teams gave their all. Fairview won tonight.
Are you sure about that?
I am very sure.
I honestly don't think so. I think Forrest won this one. Look at the faces of the Forrest players and look at the faces of the Fairview players.
Well, it was a great game tonight. This is January 28th, 2015. Fairview versus Forrest. Yeah.
This
that's
is
it.
Michael Hutchton and Jack Johnson commentating this game, produced by Mr. Bob King. I think that's it.